One, two, one, two. One, two. One, two. What's going on with y'all? What's going on with y'all? So, y'all, look. I'm doing this video because I want to give some insight, some precautions, but also some insight, some advice. Listen, right? Mars is not as bad as what people sometimes make it out to be. It's really not. It all depends on how you harness the energy. You know what I mean? So, let me keep it a being with y'all. And at first I was just gonna call this. I was gonna call this Mars and sex, or I was gonna call it Mars and how to use Mars. I came up with a whole bunch of different things to call it. But after I thought about it and started processing the information more and the experiences and stuff like that, I'm gonna get a little bit vulnerable too. I'm gonna open up a little bit. Put it that way. Pause. But I decided to call this Mars and the Virgo in the 12th house. Just flat out, because that's what I am. I don't think I really fully spoke about that placement in my chart. I may have mentioned it here and there, like sprinkled, but I haven't fully came out and just been like, yeah, my Mars is in Virgo in the 12th house and yada, 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 and going, elaborating like I would do on other types of joints. So that's what this is about, all right? If you don't have this placement, you could still learn a lot from this, because I am going to say some things that you can carry on with you to wherever you have your Mars. Bars. That wasn't even bars, but adding on bars to Mars makes it bars type shit. So, yeah. So where do we begin? Well, first, let's talk about the planet Mars. Mars rules over ambition. It rules over desire. It rules over passion. It rules over war. It rules over energy. Not just energy, because all of the planets rule over energy. All of the signs carry energy. All of the symbols carry energy. But this is the type of energy that it's active. It's activated. So you got a sun that's your soul, right? Your spinal cord and all that. And then your eyes, when they pop through the head, it excites the Mars energy for you to take action, because you realize that your limbs can move and you can do these things, and you're like, oh, all of that is based on Mars. So Mars is heavily associated for a lot of damn near everything that we do. So for one, that gives it the initiative. Another thing ruled by Mars, it gives us the initiative to get into some type of trouble sometimes. It's granted, because if you can move, you're bound to bump into somebody or something, right? At least along the way when you're learning, before you know about 6 degrees of separation, give me 6 feet and stuff like that, and don't trespass and stuff like that. You learn as you go, right? But just coming out of the gate, you probably rough around the edges. And that's Mars. Mars is always a student, because it's the baby of the zodiac. It's always yearning to learn. And when you see those real, just total badasses, it's because they just can't get it. They can't put it down. And they haven't gotten the proper guidance, the proper nurture, because that's what Mars needs. It needs what Aries needs. So you'll notice, right, that Mars is exalted in the sign of Capricorn. Reason being is because it heats up the box. So when you're thinking about your Mars, just realize that you're going to be put inside of a box. And you're going to end up being okay with it. Sure, it rules over individuality, and it rules over individuality in a way that says you're going to excel by how good of a soldier you are. Really, it's about how good you are at taking heed, following instructions, at least following proper guidance, being able to embrace and accept nurture. Some people can't do that, yo. Of course, that sun thing would get in the way, which we call ego. Sometimes Mars energy can get in the way, which is called anger and frustration, right? I don't want to listen to you. Why I gotta listen to you? It's because you don't know the ropes yet, kid, Or you just so new back into the 3D realm that you forgot your past life. You don't recall how to do this yet, because your shit been wiped. Your memory's been wiped. You get what I'm saying? So that's what it really be about. So it's like when you see the Emperor card drawn in tarot, that's the Mars flexed, grown up and flexing now. But that Emperor, the way that the Emperor got the resources, real estate, the corporation, they're big entrepreneur now, is by following somebody else or taking the initiative to fall in line into some type of structure that got them along the way. All right, so even the most major entrepreneurs, they exist inside of a structure, right or wrong. They exist inside of a large institution. So that's going to happen. So what's going to happen is your box is the house that your Mars is in, flat out. You just got to keep it a beam with y'all. So I'm going to give y'all some examples of how my life was and how it still is. I got a 12 house box. All right, pause, because that sounds kind of crazy. But I do. I got a 12 house box. So what that means is 12 house rules over spirituality. It rules over psychic energy. It rules over confidential information, secrets, behind the scenes events as well. Hospitals, prisons, the environment, large institutions, like the largest institutions that you know, ruled by the 12th house. Wealth in foreign lands. It also rules over loss. And it could be lost either kind of way. It could be lost by way of you wreck shit, you self-sabotage. Or it could be wealth by you shedding and getting lighter intentionally, purposely, before it's actually taken from you in some kind of way. It's always effective to learn how to spread the wealth in the 12th. Oh, bars, that's nice. Because somewhere along the line you can fuck around. Like if you hoard it, it's a way to hoard. If you hoard it, learn how to dish it away at the same time through charity or, through government, through taxes. Learn how to, you know what I mean? If you're dealing with the 12th house. Or, just always look for a way to travel lighter. Because if you don't and you lose it because you're not on a spiritual path at all, and you got a Mars in the 12th house, you can expect that you're going to lose something somewhere along the lines. So the way that I can prove to you that you're going to excel in a box is through my experiences, and I'm going to give y'all a few. You know what I'm saying? But like one may think, and this is what I thought too when I first started learning about astrology, that, Mars is only prominent and successful in the 10th house or in the sign of Capricorn. Otherwise, it's like, nah, it ain't going to do so well. It's not going to do well in the 4th. It falls there. It's not going to do well in the 7th. It's at a detriment there, right? Because you got to partner up somebody. It's taken away from the self. Mars is selfish, and it should be, unless you're being a soldier for the box that you're in. So whoever's part of that box in the community type vibe, if you're a soldier for them, it's warranted. So let's say you got a spiritual community. Let's say I got a spiritual community, 12th house. If I'm behaving like a warrior for my 12th house tribe, so be it. I'm supposed to be doing stuff like that. Not only that, 12th house rules over the subconscious mind. So you're going to have a warrior-like type mentality when it comes to like playing mental games, chess, real life chess type shit. You could be a war strategist, and only because you can consult in affairs that are from the outer realms. You understand what I'm saying? So I'm not saying that you're going to be on the front line with the machine gun. Nah. You probably won't even be in the bunkers or nothing like that. But they're going to consult with you to say, yo, who wins this war? Can you see it? Because we know you can see it. You can see it. If you got Mars in the 12th house, you can see who's going to win the war. Now, it's a double-edged sword, too, when it comes to Mars being in the 12th house, because let's say you're involved with stuff that revolves around litigation, but it's in the public arena. Let's say it's 7th house stuff. Let's say it's 9th house stuff. Let's say it's 10th house stuff. You get pulled in the courtrooms or you get pulled around in a job, in a workplace and stuff like that. And you got to deal with authority figures and stuff like that. You may lose, buddy. Male or female included, you may lose. And It may not always look like a loss, but it could definitely look like a lot of the times like you just got the shit end of the stick. It's not 50-50. Like you just caught a bad deal. Or it could have, yeah, it could have been worse, but it ain't have to be that bad either type shit. You could even get caught up in some wrongful, even if you don't get sentenced wrongfully, you can get accused wrongfully. You can get just dealt with wrongfully. Get dealt a hand that is not, it's not truthful, it's not even honest. And should you get enraged and lash out and do the unthinkable, you're gonna be looked at as even worse. They're not gonna look at it like, oh yeah, they justified because they did them dirty. They wasn't supposed to do that to them. Nah, they're gonna be whoever's looking in those houses. 10th, everybody sees you. 7th, everybody sees you. They're gonna be like, nah, we seen him. They sent him home. He was supposed to go home. I don't know why he came back to the job and started fist fighting everybody. And they were like, yo, your argument may be, yo, they fired me for no fucking reason. They lied on me and everything, and it could be true. They lied on you. They got you up out of there. You are not going to be justified, B. You better go. You better go to your box in the 12th house now. Should you be like, you know what? Take it on the chin, pause. Get up out of there. I'm not gonna get angered. I'm gonna harness this Mars energy. I'm gonna get low. I'm gonna go retreat. Y'all got this one. You gotta know with Mars in the 12th, what that saying is really true. You gotta know when to pick your battles, B. Every fight is not a fight. And you might win a battle. I mean, you might lose a battle, but you win the war. When you retreat to the 12th house, because the 12th house is about retreat too. Surrender. Retreat, surrender, get away. Escapism. When you do that, you'll come to find out that the people or the situation that wronged you they're gonna get this. They're gonna get this. I didn't make the shit up. They're gonna get this. I'm not telling you to sit there and wait on it, and you know what I mean? Get your popcorn and just like don't do anything but I'm telling you, you're gonna hear through the grapevine or something like that. Yo, remember that shit, or remember that person, or remember that company. I'll give you a story now. I was working in corporate one time, and I got into an institution. Some of y'all heard this story before if y'all been here for a minute. If y'all been following me for a minute. But I might not detail it as good as I'm about to. I'm not sure. Can't recall. But I'm in corporate. I'm doing my thing. It was like you know how corporate is. You climb up the ladder. You climb up the corporate ladder. So I come in, and I'm doing my thing. You know what I'm saying? I'm doing my thing. They like me. They like how I move around. They like how I get rapport with the people. So I would say it's about 300 to 400 people between 2 locations. So they like how I build rapport with people. You know what I'm saying? I get people. I'm really not like, I don't know. It's bugged out. I'm really not a people-y person, but when I get people-y, I'm great at it. Like, I'm good at it. Let's just say that. I ain't going to say I'm great at it because that's doing too much. I'm not great at it, but I'm good at it. So I was good at what I did at this particular place. You know what I mean? Doing my thing. I'm rising up the ladder, but I'm rising up quicker than most people. And, you know, there would be whispers in there, whatever the case may be. Little birdies would come back and tell me little shit. You know what I mean? And I'd just be like, yo, that's phony, because when I see them, it's, you know, how you doing, shaking hands and stuff like that. It's, I guess, typical workplace shit, which is corny, but anyway, I would hear about stuff, but I wouldn't take it personal. I just want to do my job, get my checks, and go home. Like, I don't even care about y'all like that. Like, that's what I'm saying. I'm not that people-y. Like, I don't want to hang out with my coworkers all the fuck out of here. Like, I did my bit. I'm going home after that. You know what I'm saying? I had some couple of friends there, though. I ain't gonna hold you. They was chicks, though. But, you know, me and some dudes, who was cool, too. Ain't no hard feelings or whatever. But I don't want to hang out with you, is my point. Mars shit, but since we on the topic, I might as well talk about how I can be such a solo act. So, point being, as I get to this, I guess you could say a pinnacle within the company, I haven't ever gotten written up. You never heard no scandals about me. I ain't get caught fucking in the bathroom. No, nothing. Well, in the after party. I wasn't fucking in the after, but I got caught. It's wild. It's a story. It's a story. I had my things, you know what I'm saying? I had the bitches, you know what I'm saying? I had the bitches. What you want me to do? I had the broads, you know what I'm saying? But that's gonna happen in any place, you know what I mean? But I didn't get caught violating in the workplace or nothing. Like, I didn't do none of that shit. You know what I'm saying? I take my shit home. So a few years go by. I say a couple, almost a few. A few years go by, and people got upset that I had reached, Mars gets exalted in Capricorn. And like I said, like I originally thought, when you are in a 10th house setting, when you are in, and even though 12th house rules over large institutions, this company wasn't large. It wasn't like a Facebook or Google. Like I said, it was like 300 to 400 employees spread out between two locations. So this is more like a small business. But it's still the structure, right? Mars still gets exalted within a structure whenever it gets the proper guidance and stuff like that. So this is how you can know how to utilize your Mars to do well. I'm doing my thing. I get higher up the rank, higher up the rank. Now I'm passing people who have been there longer than me. So that's ruffling feathers. Now there's this type of resentment. There's this type of anger towards me. Be mindful about this with your Mars. There can be anger shown to you, resentment building up for you based upon Mars. Instead of you using the Mars energy to get angry with other people or want to fight other people and want to get at other people, it's them looking at you. Why? It's because of your ambition, your determination, your drive, and your passion for what you do when you take action. Bars, passion and action. When you do those things and you're visible, it just kicks some other people's shit up. The observers who are just doing too much, yo. Maybe some comparisons or just hearing about you or just seeing you. Maybe you don't like your face. You know what I mean? It's just a bunch of, it could be anything. But it's the energy, it's like they reflect it back to you in the worst type of way. When all you're doing, this can happen when you're utilizing energy, Mars energy, optimally. Because any astrologer will tell you, the way that you master Mars is by harnessing the energy to do work. Channel the passion and everything and the energy to do work. And that's how you do well. When you get all crazy, lustful and stuff like that, I'm going to get to that. It has its place. But I'm telling you, if you want to get the best out of Mars, you apply yourself with work, put your passion and stuff into that. So long story longer, eventually they set me up. I got set up one day. They did some like switcheroo with the staff. They put someone who had a lower rank than I did in charge of the place on a particular day when the head dude wasn't there. He took off purposely. The dude I can't even say he was up above me. It's just that when there's two departments. There's operations and there's project manager. I became a project manager. So technically I'm in a higher space than the the operations manager. But if you put us side to side, we're equal, if you get what I'm saying. But we're just in two different departments. But in most places, you're going to see that the project department got a edge over the operations department. I don't mean to laugh like that, but it's kind of like sinister. It's almost kind of like racist, but what is that? Social economic status. It's something along those lines. It's not racial, but it could be a little nuance. But my point is, he took off that day purposely because he knew that if I came out on the operations floor, which I had to cover people's backs because I came up through operations. So the best person to send back out there when we're short a man is someone who knows operations like the back of their hand. So I was still kind of new to the project department area, so I went back out to operations for that day. Now, everybody knows I'm not going to like drop in rank to like adhere to what this other person got to say. to me, he's still an operations dude. You know what I'm saying? Like, you may be acting role right now to cover for the head dude in operations, but you are not him, type shit. So, and I'm not even saying this is some ego shit. Like, my Mars is just lit. It was lit. You know what I'm saying? I earned my spot. I didn't play with nobody when I was there. I'm telling you, I work, I do my thing, I get my checks, I go home. So they set me up. The dude actually like called them and everything, told them play by play how to do it the next day. Listen, Chauncey's gonna be in there. This is what we want you to do. You know, ask him if he could do this. Ask him if he could do that. It was like trolling before trolling was a monumental thing. And he did it. And I fell right for it. I was like, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. I mean, look, the statistics was off on this dude. Like, he just wasn't good at what he did, yo. And I got a track record. So I'm like, I'm not doing it. It really didn't make sense to me. He could have used the power of suggestion, like, yo, don't you think, did you look at it like this? You could do it that way. None of that was done. He was just like, yo, I need you to do this. But then I look at it like, let me calm down. You know what I'm saying? Before I just, let me hear what he got to say. Everything he told me was off. I'm like, nah, that ain't how you do it, man. How long I been going out here? Y'all don't know how to do this shit no more. Like, yo, look, you do it like this. I'm not doing that. I'm telling you right now. So he would go report back everything that I said that I wouldn't do. So word got back, right? I didn't get a write up. I ain't get a tag on the, a little tug on the shirt. Like, yo, we heard about yesterday. You know, they was acting, they was in position, you was insubordinate type shit. I'm like, yo, what? None of that. No warning, no nothing. Just, we gotta let you go. We gotta what? Wait a minute. And they're like, yeah, we gotta let you go. So at first I try to put up an argument. I try to put up a fight. I'm like, yo, this, that, and third. He's not even skilled like that. He was trying to sabotage the whole workday. Like, this shit was a wreck. I had to turn this shit around by myself, which I did. I turned the whole fucking day around, doing it my way. You know what I mean? We used to split the room up or whatever the case may be. The stats are all there in the computers. The people who worked for us, they could tell you. Did my thing. It didn't even fucking matter. Because that's how bad that this person wanted me out of there. You understand what I'm saying? Not only that, I started my own business on the side, and word had got around that I just did that too. And I had came in with my diploma. I got my associates around this time. So I came in the building with my diploma. I was hype. I showed it to the dude who got me fired and everything. I thought it, before he was happy for me. You know what I mean? Trained me in everything when I first came in. But I'm doing all this other shit now. I seen the look on his face. He was like, he held the diploma. He was like, he was scared. He knew something I didn't know. I didn't know they was going to keep moving me up at a speed like that. Like, they really liked me at this job. You understand what I'm saying? The staff, when I say staff, I mean like the executives. So he was paranoid then. You know what I mean? And I knew from that look on his face, I said I knew I should probably start watching out for him. And I was right. I was fucking right, yo. So, but he also knew, he played on my intelligence with this too. He also knew that I started like not giving a fuck at the job because my side business started making some money. I had my diploma. It was just looking like I might have one foot out the door anyway. So why not just force my hand and be like, yo, you don't really want this job anyway. And I promise you, that's what he said to me. Like, you don't even really want to be here like that no more anyway, do you? We see you doing your thing on the side. You got your own business now and all that. Like, and it was like, yo, I couldn't even fight no more. I felt defeated already. I was like, you know what? I thought about it because I was really like, I thought about like flipping the table over and leaving out in that type of style only because I knew I was set up. When it dawned on me that I was set up and I seen like the smirk on his face, I'm just like, I should probably just flip the table over just because like they may get startled. I'm not going to hurt nobody, you know what I'm saying? But just because, you know what I'm saying? Make some papers fly or some shit like that. Mars type shit. But I was like, nah, I ain't going to do that. And I'm not going to try to fight back. So when I was like, you know what? Y'all got that. Y'all got that. I'm going to walk out of here. So he was like, You sure? Giving me another chance to fight for the job. Like he wanted to make it look like or make me feel like I had to kiss his ass now and really fight for the job. And I was like, at that point, I was like, you damn sure ain't gonna get me to do that. Yeah, 2 to 3 years, I'm throwing right out the window, and y'all ain't even give me a write up. I got a clean ass record and all that, and I'm ready to walk out of here because of my integrity, my dignity, my warrior. That's my warrior spirit, Mars in the 12th. I'm fucking out of here. What are you shitting me? I'm out of here. So I walked out, left my job. I kind of got fired, but at the same time, don't try to like pitch it back to me like, oh, you want it? Like, dang, get the fuck out of here. You know what I'm saying? And certain shit that I feel like even as men we just shouldn't do. You know, Mars rules over men, but don't get it twisted. Women got Mars. And this is some shit that y'all gotta understand too. Women got drive. Wherever you see a woman being standoffish, whenever you see a woman being confident and going after something that she wants and shit like that, that's her Mars too, B. Don't let astrology trick you into believing that women just exist to make babies and like the sun's masculine, Mars is masculine, Saturn's masculine, Jupiter's masculine. Like, yo, why do women have it in their natal charts? Do not be that naive. That's probably why a lot of relationships are resulting in the way that they resulted now these days, because y'all are taking women for y'all taking women for fools. Y'all underestimate women too much, man. But that's how Mars cannot work for you in certain spaces if you got it in the 12th house. Straight up. And then I got the sign. I didn't even start talking about the sign Virgo yet. I got the sign Virgo there. So Virgo is about being efficient, paying attention to detail, perfection. So they're looking at me already. The whole time they're looking at me like I'm some type of alien. Because I get to coming in the room, I read the room, I see what's going on. I be like, I grab the keyboard, start pointing around and shit. I tell this one, that one, tell them. They like, yo, this motherfucker is magic. Like, what are you, a robot? Like, I was really making an impact at this place. Gliding through there. You know what I'm saying? Clerical work, whatever. I'm multitasking because I'm mutable. They put me over here. Oh, listening on the phone. All right, yeah, I could do that. They put me over here, train me on this. I'm doing that too. Some days they ain't know who the fuck I was. They was like, yo, you the boss of this, or you the boss of that, you the boss. It was wild. You know what I mean? To be able to be adaptable like that with the Virgo energy, to be able to perfect things and make things better. You know, I was designing spreadsheets, like revising and revamping the spreadsheets that they had designed and stuff like that. I'm like, yo, it's better like this. Look at it. Send it to them, email it. Like, oh, that's good. You know what I'm saying? Like I was showing out, but I'm just doing me. I'm doing what I do. That's my celestial DNA. That's my design. You know what I mean? So, this could happen in courtrooms and stuff like that. I'm not going to get into like courtroom situations and shit like that, but I'm just telling you, it can happen. The same way that it happened to me at that job place, it could happen in the courtroom too. They could I done had people lie in the courtroom on me. And judge still go against me. Like, how you gonna let the other side lie? Like, they're legal, they're law experts. They work here. They lie, and then you fuck me over? Man, listen. Mars in the 12th. So you may be questioning yourself like, yo, so where's my authority? Because you got a Mars. Mars is eventually going to come into authority. It's going to step into its power. It's always stepping into its power. The more that you move, the more that you remain constant, the more that you take action, it's inevitable. You're going to advance in whatever it is that you take action at. And I mean whatever it is. But what's going to happen is you got to revert back to the house. You got to go back to the house. You got to ask yourself, what house is your Mars in? And you may not be comfortable with it, right? Because like I said, Mars is a warrior, right? Likes to be physical, likes to take action. You put it in a watery ass house that's melancholy and likes to sway and go with the waves and rock back and forth and, you know, be nude in a fucking waterbed or some shit with a bunch of bitches. Like, you like, oh, how tough is that? You know what I'm saying? You'll ask yourself, like, this don't look like McClane from Die Hard at all. What? It's a place for everything. It's a time and a place for everything. Your place is your place. Your hand is your hand. So I had to learn this. You know what I'm saying? You work your hand. You work your hand. Pause, because that's crazy. But you do. And I reflected on my childhood a lot. I would say my teenage years anyway, to get some of the downloads for this message, because the 12th house rules over drugs. So coming up in the drug game and stuff like that, this allowed me to really see my Mars shine, I guess you could say. The best way that I could articulate that without, while still taking accountability for crime not being good. You know what I mean? But we can also look at this from another perspective and say, well, drugs are from the earth and yada, yada, yada. I can make that argument, especially with a Mars in the 12th house, which rules over drugs. I can make that argument. I've made it before. It's not the brightest argument, but to be real with you, to keep it a beam with you, some drugs will open up things for you that can advance your life in ways that it's just this. It's in ways that go against structure. So again, if you're in a watery house and this earth largely is emphasized on earth structure, then you can see how that conflicts. So during those teenage years, or whatever the case may be, running the streets, I got to see how Mars energy is the bad boy archetype. It's the bad girl archetype. It's the ability to be an individual in whatever house that it's in. So here I am dealing drugs 100 miles per hour, but I'm reserved because I got a sign Virgo there. So I come across as reserved. I read the room. I'm over here with it. I'm in a corner. And of course, I'm a Pisces. So I'm like gliding across the rooms and the streets and shit like that. And sometimes it look like I got my head up, my nose turned up at people, whatever. I done heard all kind of shit. And then come to find out, you look in the mirror enough, it's like, yeah, nigga, you do look like that a lot of the times. So I get it, but it's just me. Again, it's my celestial DNA, and it's gonna be you if you got this placement too. It just is what it is. But I'm learning still though. Like I still was the fucking man. Why? Because if you got a Mars in the 12th house, you're gonna attract a lot of spiritual bitches, or you're just gonna women who experiment with drugs, and it's more than you would imagine. I don't know how well versed you are in this type of shit, but women like that shit. Women like to feel and experiment, and sex on drugs, 12th house rules over bed pleasures. You know what I'm saying? So whenever they can vibe with a dude who can tap in like that as well, it's a real turn on for them, yo. They are highly attracted to that shit. So they're not looking at it like, oh, dude, you should be out in Afghanistan with a fucking fatigue suit on and an M16. They're not looking at it like, they're not looking at you like that. They're not looking at me like that. They looking at me like you belong right where you're supposed to be. A drug lord or something as close as to it as you can get, right? Running around in the streets with us. Take us where the drugs is at. Take us where the butt naked bitches is at. Take us, let's go frolic in the woods type shit. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of that was going on. Now, I smile and and don't get me wrong, I had a lot of fun during these times. A lot of fun. I wasn't angry. I wasn't, how should I say it? The only time I would get angry or be on some violent shit is when I had to it's the drug game. You know what I'm saying? Where my money at type shit. You know what I mean? I don't really like to turn these videos into this, but sometimes it's warranted, and I think this is just one of those times where I can reflect on the criminal element of my past, so you can understand, so I could bring the story. You know what I mean? So I could bring the lesson. So, but that's the only times that I would get like that. You know what I'm saying? Unless I was just like really doing too much drugs and I needed to get the fuck out of, you know what I mean? That type of vibe. To where it was just like, yo, I don't need nobody around me. I'm paranoid and shit like that. Like, yeah. Though there were some instances like that. And eventually jail, because the 12th house rules over jail too. So it was like inevitable. I didn't know astrology then. You know? I know now. It's like, oh yeah, motherfucker, jail is just waiting for you. You don't know yet? Watch, you gonna see. You know what I mean? And it happened. So the 12th house also rules self-renewal. Luckily. So this is where Mars can be lucky for you. You got it over here. Because you could take all that bad boy archetype, and really bad boy, when I say bad boy, again, Mars rules over ambition, drive, passion, action. So when people see that, especially women, when they see that and they see you on, like, you just do you, it's attractive to them. To the point where they'll get around you when they ovulating and all that wow, so they'll get around you. It's a chemical thing. It's chemistry, B. They'll give it right to you. Like, it's just, and you don't gotta be bad beating people up in it. No, you just gotta be taking action, doing your thing as a solo act in your element. When you operating in your element, in your box, which is your house, you get all of the perks that come with it. So when that happens, it's like a bad boy archetype regardless, because you're taking action. You understand what I'm saying? But when you get self-renewal, you find out what Mars energy is better off doing, which is going into corporate. Because you're gonna excel. They're gonna pick you up. They're gonna take you higher. You understand what I'm saying? It's going to happen because that's just what Mars does. So it's just like an Aries in the zodiac. It's like the Aries needs to be nurtured, yo. The Aries needs guidance. The Aries needs that. It works for them if you give them and I'm not saying every Aries, but if you give them a structure to excel in, they're gonna excel in it. Now, don't get me wrong. They're probably going to break away from it too and create their own. That's just the entrepreneurial spirit of it. Or say, you know what, I've done enough here. I'm going to go start a new chapter over here. Or I'm going to go to that company now and they might do the same thing at a different company. You know what I mean? Wanting to start anew again. But to replace that starting new in a different place thing, this is what the promotions are for. Because it feels like a new job. You know, whenever you get a raise or you get a change of a position, it just feels like a new job. So they'll be like, fuck it, yeah, I'll stay. Because I got that top spot now. I'm going for that top spot. You know what I mean? I'm going to be CEO of this company one day. That Aries energy, that's what Mars does. You know what I mean? So we got that. Even more when it comes to sex, right? Because it rules over 12th house rules over bed pleasures. Now let's say you got like I'm saying, I got a Mars, but it's in the sign of Virgo. That reserved shit can get chicks going after you too. They'll activate their Mars and their passion for you and come after you and come for you. You understand what I'm saying? All you got to do is take some type of action in your life. You just got to be visible to them. They'll come. You don't got to be aggressive and after them. I'm telling you, you got this placement, you probably know. You probably agreeing with me right now. You don't got to go after them. They'll come. It's a 12th house. 12th house is a feminine house. You just got a masculine counterpart. You could have a harem if you wanted to. You could be a pimp. You could. I'm telling you, yo. No bullshit, because you could be smooth with it in that 12th house. You could just be Piscean like, you know what I mean? A little rough around the edges type shit, you know what I mean? And it could work for you. In matters of spirituality, this is what I found out too. This is later on in life. That the house, you know, you become a leader or you become an emperor of the house that your Mars is in. So it's cool to be emperor-like in a house of spirituality. It doesn't look the same, or it doesn't look societal. It doesn't look like the societal, what's held in high regard when it comes to society when you're talking about Aries and Mars, large promotion of war, right? Unfortunately, I would say. Either that or some action movies where a whole bunch of cars blow up just because they want to blow up cars. Somebody's getting excited when cars blow up. I don't know who those people are, but somebody out there is getting excited when cars blow up as a stunt, as a movie prop. But yeah, it could work for you in spiritual matters. All right. So you don't really have to take on the role of, well, let me go work construction because they're paying this amount of money, which is more than what I'm making right now. And that's what men do. And this, like, you don't, I'm trying to tell you, B. I mean, you could do it. And I'm not saying you're a sucker for doing it. What I am saying is to take a look at your hand again and ask yourself, do I have to do that? Do I have to get my hands dirty? If I got Mars in the 12th house? Wait a minute. There might be another way to do this. And yeah, it's called the simpler way. It's called the easier way because why go against your own hand? You understand what I'm saying? Figure it out. It's not the simplest thing to do. Don't get me wrong. It's taken me years to get to the point that I'm at now. I didn't know this shit before. So again, Mars is exalted in Capricorn. Capricorn takes time. It's a system. You're not going to know all of this shit out of the gate. You know what I mean? Now, if you got Mars somewhere else, that's a different story. If you got the degrees of your Mars, is a different story. Different strokes for different folks. You know what I mean? But shit. What else about Virgo can impact this in a way that I feel can give y'all some game? Yeah, just real sharp when it comes to being efficient, and also matters of the subconscious mind. There's a lot of war taking place in the subconscious mind. Let me not leave this out. As a matter of fact, I'm going to leave you with this, but let me not leave it out. People on a daily basis create advertisements and all kinds of stuff to implant their ideas inside of your mind. You don't really pay that much attention to it consciously unless you like really remember the jingle and that's your favorite commercial type shit. You might just be in motion, glance at the TV. You don't know what the fucking ad is. But subconsciously, you do. And the next thing you know, a week later, you're buying that thing. Or you're buying it for someone. And you don't even think about these things because it's subconscious. These things could seep into your dreams. You go to sleep at night, you have dreams of things that have been advertised. Next thing you know, you're waking up and you're buying those. You could be in your dreams having real wars, real battles, running into jinns, running into spirits. Trust me, I know. Trust me, I know. But I'm a bad motherfucker when I'm in there. That's Mars in the 12th. That's where your power seat really is, having a Mars in the 12th house. In spiritual matters, you're not going to be able to fuck with you. So even like I said, like even if the judge made a awkward decision, that shit ain't work out for everybody later on. It didn't. It didn't. So, these are some gems to take away with you. Again, I was going to make this more about sex. I do want to say this, though, about sex. I've mentioned this before, but I'm going to emphasize it again. Mars does have a lot to do with sex in your sex life. But don't get it twisted. It has a lot to do with what you want out of the sex life. It has a lot to do with you busting your nut when you're having sex. Alright? It has a lot to do with the selfishness in the sex life. So sometimes you could have a prominent Mars, or you could have you could have a prominent Mars, you could have a high degree Mars, you could have Mars in fucking Leo or something, you know what I mean? Fire on fire, and you may not knock a bitch socks off. You may not knock a bitch socks off. Why? Because you're thinking about yourself. So you could fuck her, you might fuck her fast and hard on some Mars shit, right? And you might think you did your thing, you rocked the world. She go back to her friend she was dry half the time, really the whole time. And you don't do no foreplay or nothing. You just rushed right into it like you was just boinking a fucking wall or some shit. You know what I'm saying? And you swore you did business. Like, she went and used the toy when y'all were done. And I'm not saying it's like the bitches that be lying. I'm saying like the bitches that really be telling the truth about this shit. I know bitches that say, yo, nigga dick big, but it wasn't what I thought it was gonna be. And then you gotta go back and do your homework. Like, what type of shit is that? If a bitch ever tell you like a man with a smaller penis has done her better than you, or you know what I mean, you got the bigger joint or whatever the case may be, you gotta go and rethink that shit, or don't you? I would advise you go rethink that shit because it's a you thing at that point. You know what I'm saying? It could have been too fast. And you thinking like, oh yeah, you heard the cheeks clapping and all that, you know what I'm saying? And you like, yeah, shit flying over your head. You don't even understand the clitori and you don't understand the foreplay and going on. You don't understand that because you ain't tapping the Venus. You don't know nothing about Venus. You just all Mars. You just too rough around the edges. And you ain't tapping to that Venus shit. You know what I mean? You too hard body for that shit. You gonna learn. You gonna learn one day. Or maybe not. Maybe you just stick to the, what is it, the rivers and the lakes that you're used to or some shit like that. How'd that go? But please know that about Mars, alright? And sex. Because sex is a beautiful thing, and yes, it can be great when you utilize Mars for passion and, you know, you rip the bra off the tits and all that. You go at them, you know what I mean? But listen, your Venus is what's really going to get you over in the bedroom, B. So it's important to use your Mars energy harness. Again, like I told you, like the same way you would learn discipline, because in order to excel in Capricorn, you got to learn discipline. You got to learn how to take orders. You can't be insubordinate. You know what I mean? Like I was. You got to, you know what I mean? So you got to harness that energy when it comes to the bedroom too. And just say, get a grip on yourself. You know how you tell a chick stop? Like, yo, stop real quick. Sometimes her Mars be fired up. Like, what you mean? I'm just like, yo, I'm telling you, stop. Let's just sit here for a minute. Just chill. You know what I'm saying? The loving ain't going nowhere. We gonna get it rocking again, but you need to chill right now. Type shit. I ain't gonna drag this no more. This is the lesson on Mars. Till next time, I'm out.